I'm Johnny the Barber. Hope you like this YouTube video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow the Instagrams below. And wait for more videos coming up, man. Thank you. Hope you like this video.
Hey everybody, this is another YouTube video by Johnny and Busco. Here to show you how to do a taper fade and how to do the secrets of the pencil step by step on the beard. So we're gonna start slowly by doing the lineup on the beard. We're gonna edge up the jawline. Make sure you keep it straight. We're gonna edge up the mustache as well. Make sure everything comes out neat. And then we're gonna start by doing the fade on the side of the hair. So I start with the T-liner. Make sure you flick it real good and leave it really bald so the taper could stand out. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your half clip and you're gonna start fading that line slowly. Make sure you get every little detail with the corner, that way you don't leave no marks or no dark spot. We're gonna get the pencil next, and make sure you cover all the bald spots of the beard. Make sure everything goes really smooth and it looks normal. Sometimes you could darken it up a little bit just to make sure you got a base, and then after that you're gonna start lining it up. You're gonna make sure you leave a little bit excess, so when you line it up it comes out nice and sharp. As you see right now, you line it up slowly. Make sure you follow your track, and then so the beard could come out nice and sharp. So as you see, make sure you do that nice and slowly. Make sure you put a little bit of aftershave or water, that way you can see where you're at. And if you have any questions or you wonder how to redo that line, you could always go back on the video and do a double checkup. That way you could slowly keep track and know what you're doing. Make sure you pay attention really good, and make sure you always leave that straight line as sharp as you could. And it counts that you leave that beard looking like it's natural. You don't want it looking like it's really painted, because then the customer won't be satisfied. Make sure you shave up. It gets all the little dark dots of the face, and it makes the face look cleaner and the beard stand out way more than natural. Now what you gotta do is do a straight line through the back of the jawline, and then you do the bottom. Make sure you shave and you don't irritate the skin. Now you do the mustache, as you see, step by step. You could shade it in so the mustache could come in complete and it doesn't look like it's choppy and it's missing pieces. Now what you do is you do the mark on the side and make sure you edge it up nice and clean. Remember, all the tips for this beard include the crayon, so if you have a little crayon or something that'll help you shade in, make sure you use it. You could also do a T-liner on the bottom. Make sure you get it nice so you can get all the long hairs. Make sure you get all that beard, even it out, and with your hand make sure you dim out the dark spaces so it could all look even. Once more, you get the shaver and make sure you leave that line straight. Remember, straight lines count a lot. If you leave a really straight line, the customer will be satisfied. So make sure you leave straight lines all the way through. Stretch the skin so you could be able to get the perfect lining. If you don't stretch the skin, sometimes the line comes choppy, so make sure you stretch the skin so remember, just do little details that make the beard come out nice and fresh. Next step, we do the eyebrows. What I usually do is, to complete a full haircut and full service, I do beard, eyebrows, and haircut. So we do a cleanup on the eyebrows. Your customer will be satisfied. Make sure you don't go that in, because people don't like skinny eyebrows. So just make sure you do a nice clean of all the long hairs, and you just keep the same shape of eyebrow, but make sure you do the step by step, and make sure you just slowly remove the excess hair. Always remember to brush the hair down so you could get all the excess hair and the long hairs that stick right out. And that makes the eyebrow define and have a better shape. Also remember to get the middle. The unibrow has to get cleaned out so the customer likes it, and then it gets a better view and a better definition when you finish the eyebrows. Always do bottom to top, that way you don't irritate the eyebrow and you don't irritate the skin. And slowly just remove all the excess hair. Now we're gonna get a number 4 clip and pass it all around. Make sure you get all the little antennas that stick out. Sometimes the clip leaves long hair, so make sure you go over it and slowly so you could get all the hair. Want me do my dance? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is start fading with the 0 clip, the T-liner. We're just gonna slowly flick it. You're gonna flick of the wrist slowly. You heard the song, so you're gonna flick your wrist slowly, and then make sure you don't excess the line, the hairline. As you see right here in the video, we left the line so you know where to stop. And this is the balding, so make sure you just use the balding up to there, and then you slowly fade. That helps you fade. If you know how to fade with the balding, it'll help you and it'll make your job easier, and it'll kill time, because time is money, as we all know. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a number 1 clip, open it up, and start fading that line. Slowly fading. Some people don't have a lot of experience. You gotta do slowly. Just start slow. We marked the line right there so you know where to stop, but visually, and you just gotta eyeball it so you can stop. Just make sure you flick, and then you slowly start seeing a result. So you just gotta start fading the line. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna come back to a 1, and you're gonna start fading. Slowly fade. You're gonna pick up the machine and just use the tip. Make sure you don't go all the way in, because if you go all the way in, you're gonna leave bald spots. So now you're gonna do a 1.5, and you're gonna flick it. Like, make sure you do a nice flick so you see a result. The more you flick it and the more you stay away from the hair, the more results you'll see. You gotta slowly flick it till you see results. You'll start seeing the line fade away. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna use the half clip. You're gonna start fading with the half clip. You're gonna fade up to a 1, so make sure you get that line and slowly just start fading. It's a little process that it takes, but when you start and you start learning, you'll learn it. Once you master it, everything becomes much easier. So make sure you do the 1, open it, and then start fading again. Just make sure you fade. If you need, during the process of erasing that line, if you need to pick up or drop the clip to get deeper in the line and erase it, that's what you could do. Just make sure you start fading, and then you'll start seeing the results right away, slowly. So now you're gonna leave the level all the way open so you could create that fading effect. You're slowly gonna keep fading with the corner, work your way up so you can remove that line, that T-liner line. Now it's no clip, so use the size 0 so you could keep fading that T-liner line away. Make sure you flick it, and make sure you remove all the excess hair. Now you use the T-liner, which is the 00, so you could get those last lines, and they'll detail the taper and make sure there's no lines left. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna get the corner of that T-liner and start marking the line around the ear. The sharper that line comes out, the better, because it makes the taper stand out a lot. So make sure you detail that line really good and it comes out really sharp and straight. So now what I do is I grab the 1 clip and I clean behind the ear. That way there's no chunks of hair sticking out behind the ear, and it makes the taper look cleaner. So slowly just taper up the back of the ear with that. Make sure you get the half, and you slowly keep fading. Now you grab the T-liner and you define that line on the back. Make sure it's sharp. Remove all that excess hair from the neck, and you just continue and work your way down. And you just come back and just make sure you detail that line. Remember, detail counts, and detail makes customer comes back. So sharpen it and make it look nice and sharp and fresh. With the corner, you're gonna go all the way around. And now what you're gonna do is bring the blade and start shaving that all the way up. If you shave up, it makes the haircut stand out, and it leaves it cleaner, so the customer knows and sees better results than a regular barber. Most barbers don't shave up, so if you practice really good and you get this, it comes to your advantage because it helps out a lot and it makes the taper stand out a lot. As you could see right now, the sharper and the rounder the line is, the better the taper looks. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the corner of the lineup. Make sure you bring the circle around and we make it nice and round so it lines up with the beard. Now you shape up. Every single time I shape up is so I could define the line. A lot of people don't like doing it, but if you do it and practice this, it'll help you out a lot and it'll make your customer happy. So just make sure you do it and practice it. Make sure you get all the little hair sticking out and you define that line. Shave against the hair so you could get all the hairs off and all the black spots. Makes the face look cleaner and the lines look sharper. Now we're gonna grab the comb and we're gonna clean up the excess hair. Sometimes the customer doesn't need this process done, but sometimes they do. In this case, you'll know right away because you see hair sticking out and dark spots. So what you gotta do is bring your comb and just work against the hair. Now we're gonna do the lineup. Slowly work your way. Do not remove a lot of hair. You gotta slowly work your way and start removing a little bit of hair so you know where the line is and where the hairline begins. That way you don't remove a lot of excess hair. So slowly, just with the tip of the T-liner, work your way and do the lineup. Slowly. This process could take a couple minutes, so you gotta be patient and just remember the lineup is the most important part of the haircut because it's the front, and the front shows all the work. So make sure you do a nice and straight lineup with not a lot of hair removed. A lot of people don't like green in their forehead, so make sure you slowly work your way with that T-liner. If you have any questions or doubts, you could always go back and slowly check how to start a lineup. Make sure you work your way and you just slowly grab the tip of that T-liner and mark it. Slowly. You clean it up so you can see where you're at and where your line is, and then you slowly work your way through that line. The sharper you leave that line up, the better it looks and it defines the whole haircut. So make sure you use the corner to detail all those main points of the lineup. You keep working your way through that lineup so it could come out straight. You slowly remove a bit of hair every time just to make sure your lineup comes out really straight. You check it, and if you see any little details, you go ahead and correct them. So now what you're gonna do is, a lot of people don't do this, but I do this. You put a little bit of crayon on the corner of that lineup and it defines the lineup. Just a little bit, just enough, and then you go ahead and shave against the hair so you could have a straight and sharp line. As you can see in the video, the line looks defined and straight. So just make sure you shave and you leave it without pushing the lineup back. Remember, nobody wants to get a lineup pushed back. So make sure you do that slowly and sharp. Remember the two main keywords: slow and sharp. So now you pull the skin and then you start shaving up to remove all the excess hair and to remove all that dark spots and all the dark dots from the hair. Make sure you sharpen that line up so it could come out nice and detailed, as you can see. So now we're gonna do the other side with the 1.5 clip. Slowly start fading all the way around. Remember, the same strategy doesn't always apply, so as long as the haircut comes out even and both sides are faded the same. So now you're gonna use the T-liner to start fading that line again, So you slowly work your way up and you'll see the fade that's come to place. So you slowly keep flicking until you fade out that line. Now you bring the walt shaver to take off and make the taper really bald. You could also use this to fade a little. You bring that T-liner back so you could make sure you get all those little details and keep flicking. So now we're gonna do the same thing we did on the other side. We're gonna get the number 1 clip and open it up to a 1.5 and come around the ear, as you can see. That way we don't have long chunks of hair behind the ear and no dark spots. Now we bring the half and we do the same process. We're gonna start erasing that line with the half clip all the way up, with the level up. So you'll see the line start to erase, and you'll see me go behind the ear a little bit. Now we leave the clip in the middle, the handle, that way we could get like the little details we have to. Sometimes you'll have to move the little handle around so you could adjust it to what you need, and as much hair as you want to remove, you just gotta adjust it to your convenience. So you see me right there, we keep fading that line and doing little details so it could come out nice and clean. Now we're gonna do the same process. We're gonna do the line in the back. Remember, always keep the lines nice and sharp. We're gonna go around the ear with the corner of the T-liner, making sure our lines are nice and straight all around the ear. So now we bring it back up and connect that to the beard. Now we do the same process. We're gonna get the excess hair with the comb, slowly taking only all the excess hair that needs to be removed. Now we come back, and remember, we do the slow flick of the T-liner. Since we already have one side made, we just follow that line and make sure we keep it nice and straight. Take your time on the lineup. Remember, it reflects the whole haircut, so you slowly gotta work your way and make that lineup nice and straight. You slowly dab it, and then you'll see the hair come to place and the lineup connect. If you don't see the lineup come out really straight, you slowly dab it a little bit more so you can work your way through the lineup, and you'll see results right away. You'll have a perfect straight lineup. So in this case, I have to work my way from that corner a little bit more because the lineup is not all the way straight. Make sure you don't remove a lot of hair while you do this process, because remember, we don't like green spots, and you don't want to push back the lineup. So slowly keep working your way on that lineup and just double check. Make sure you stand on the front. It's always a good point of view if you stand right in front of the customer and you see that the lineup from maybe like a foot away, just so you can see that the lineup is nice and straight. Always keep the face straight so you can know that the lineup is nice and straight. And now we do the corner with the T-liner, and we also did the curve on the lineup connecting to the beard, as you can see. We check it a little bit more, and then we bring that crayon to do the definition and to make that lineup nice and sharp. Sometimes the lineups, they have bald spots or they need hair. What you could do is you add up a little bit of crayon, and that'll cover up and it'll make the lineup really sharp. And it's a different way of working with the customer. Not a lot of people do this, so I'm pretty sure the customer will like it, so you should try this. So now you shave. Remember, always shave against the hair to get the cleanest look on that lineup. Shave against the hair to remove all the dark spots and the dark hairs. And now you shave up, pulling the skin so you don't irritate and it gets a cleaner shave. Remember that. Always pull the skin when you do shave. In this case, we pull the skin all the way across so the lineup could come nice and sharp. We come back again to make sure that lineup comes out nice and the lines come out very sharp. So now what we're gonna do, the little bald spots that he has, we cover them with that crayon, and then we shave it and we leave a nice and perfect lineup, as you can see. we shave up and make sure we remove the excess crayon and the excess hair. So now what we're gonna work is the back. We're gonna get the number 1 clip and we're gonna just start fading all the way up, creating a line so you can know where to stop, and then start fading there. So you're gonna start cleaning all that area. Now you get the T-liner and you're gonna clean up all the hair from the bottom and just start fading all the way up, creating another line. That way you could work your way up with the shaver. As you see, make sure you clean all that. When you do the shaver, make sure you kind of flick it. That way you don't just leave a line, because it will be pretty hard to erase. So make sure you flick that balding. Now you're gonna bring the wall to the level 0 and you're gonna start flicking that line, that T-liner line. Make sure you just flick it. Remember, it takes patience and you're gonna start seeing results right away. Slowly flick. Sometimes you use corners depending what your situation is. Now you bring the clip all the way open, making sure you flick all across so you could get that nice definition. You keep flicking, getting all that spots, making sure everything is nice and leveled. So now what you're gonna do is you put the handle in the middle to get the extra little details. Sometimes the clip all the way down doesn't get it, so you have to move it around, adjust it to your convenience. So now we're gonna keep fading with the 1 clip, the level open. Make sure you flick the machine really good, that way you don't leave bald chunks of hair. Make sure you flick it really good, and then so you could erase that line slowly all across. Now what you're gonna do is keep fading with the number 1. You bring the clip down so you could do the hair a little bit shorter and you'll start seeing results. Now we're gonna bring the half clip and we're gonna keep fading that line. You could still see a line across, so with that half, what it's gonna do is gonna help us erase that line a little bit more. So you bring it all around and all across. Make sure you flick the hair. It looks like I'm not touching the hair, but I'm actually flicking it out. Make sure you do a flick out. Don't push the machine inside, because you'll cut more hair than you're supposed to. With the corner, you could get excess hair and dark spots that you need to be removed. So make sure you do that little trick. It helps out a lot. Put it to practice, because it puts in a lot of help when it comes down to tapers. Well, now what you're gonna do is the half to do the last cleanup on that taper, and then we're gonna bring the comb and do the cleanup on the back, so we don't have the bulkiness of hair in the back of the head. You'll see me slowly cleaning all the excess hair all across. The way you see it is the way you have to take it out. So if some sides have more hair than others, you gotta level it out and make sure you clean it out. That's what the comb is for. It's an actual cleanup for the hair, for parts where the machine can't get. So make sure you use it all around, and you check your spots. You stop a little, look both ways, and then make sure you continue with that work of the comb on the hair. So you slowly keep working your way up, removing all the excess hair. Now what we do is final touches. We're gonna do the blade. We're gonna shave up, and we're gonna line up the back of the taper. This makes the taper stand out, and it makes the clean look. So you make sure you remove all that excess hair, and there you go. That's how you do a taper with the beard and the secret crayon. Hope you like this video. Please subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and leave your comments for future videos. Thank you, and I hope you had enjoyed.